Greetings and welcome to my channel, dear viewers. I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Hello, big reveal. The wedding plans of Jonathan Scott and Zooey Deschanel are out. A dreamy, sustainable celebration intro music, a lively, whimsical indie folk piece with a hint of glockenspiel, light acoustic guitar, and soothing percussion. Fades a little beneath the voice. Standing in a comfortable, well-lit living room with stylish, slightly unusual decor, perhaps a vintage lamp or two, a nod to Zooey's style, and speaking in a warm, enthusiastic, and slightly secretive tone, ****. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. You've undoubtedly heard the craze if you've spent any time online this week, or even if you've just glanced at your phone and blinked. The big buzz. The effortlessly cool, indie queen actress Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott, the endearing half of HGTV's Property Brothers empire, are finally getting married. And here's the thing. They've really begun sharing facts after over 4 years of engagement and meticulously protecting their private like it's Fort Knox. Plans for a real, live wedding. Let the internet let out a collective sigh of joy. It ends with a recent, slightly clearer candid where they're smiling genuinely at a cafe. For years, it's been a mystery wrapped in an enigma, dipped in that signature Deschanel quirkiness and Scott brother practicality. The montage includes paparazzi shots of Jonathan and Zooey looking happy but guarded over the years, a blurred-out engagement announcement headline, a shot of Jonathan on a Property Brothers set, and Zooey in an old movie dress. They declared their engagement in August 2021, yes, people, more than 3 years ago. And ever since, silence on the radio. Or, at the very least, the type of quiet that can only be achieved by two extremely well-known individuals who actually appear to value their relationship more than fame. No lavish engagement pictures, no reality TV shows. Much to the anger of HGTV, I'm sure. And no incessant social media cues. Just peaceful satisfaction, which, in the overshare culture of today, is actually sort of refreshing. Now, though, something has changed. The dam is broken. Or perhaps they've simply chosen that now is the ideal moment to share the wonderful details of their special day with their loved ones and us, their devoted followers. What specifics they are, too. Forget about the usual mega wedding in Hollywood. We can infer from their recent, well-chosen words and deeds that Jonathan and Zooey are creating something very intimate, deeply personal, and rooted in the principles that define them both. Jonathan's passion for well-designed, useful spaces and sustainable design, and Zooey's recognizable vintage style, love of the outdoors, and dedication to moral living. The music swells a little before fading back to background level, creating a celebration that is 100% them. It's as if their personalities are merging in the most exquisite way. The host leans in a little, her eyes bright with anticipation. So, grab your favorite warm beverage, perhaps a classic old-fashioned for Jonathan's Canadian heritage, or a matcha latte for Zooey vibes. Settle in, and let's get deep into all we know, and may properly conjecture, about Jonathan Scott and Zooey Deschanel's impending wedding. We'll examine their verified plans, unravel the hints they've left, investigate the why behind their decisions, and speculate on what this ideal, environmentally friendly party might genuinely include. This is about realizing how two distinct people are fusing their lives in a way that feels genuine, not merely gossip. Are you ready?
Come on.
The long wait and the shift, from secret engagement to sharing the joy B-roll, additional unscripted footage, possibly a passage from Jonathan's Celebrity IOU, in which he discusses family, a glimpse of Zooey's new girl, in which she is organizing a whimsical event, and graphics displaying the engagement date of August 2021. Alright, let's go back a moment. Do you recall August 2021? Everything in the world was still navigating. Jonathan Scott made a shocking Instagram post in the middle of all of this. The message reads, "After 2.5 magical years together, I couldn't wait any longer. I got down on one knee and asked Zooey Deschanel to marry me, and she said yes." It's a classic Jonathan shot. Simple, genuine, and without any frills. What did Zooey say? Just yes. Unadulterated happiness. Easy. Excellent. Then there was stillness. Crickets. For years, Jonathan and Zooey remained silent on Instagram while other famous couples bombarded the platform with ring close-ups, venue tours, and designer dress revelations. And truthfully, show respect. Choosing to keep your wedding private makes a strong statement at a time when it might feel like content before it's even a commitment. It implies that their connection is genuinely for them and not for the whole public. Moving in together, adjusting to blended family dynamics, Zooey has a kid from her previous marriage to Jacob Pechenik, and Jonathan is well known for being close to his twin Drew and his family, and simply being a couple were their top priorities when it came to starting their life together away from the spotlight. The host adopts a reflective tone. What happened? Why begin sharing in late 2024 now? There are a number of ideas, but they all suggest that the wedding is quickly approaching. The realistic schedule: it takes time to plan a wedding, no matter how modest. The date is most certainly set for sometime around 2025 if they are discussing specifics now. Finalizing vendors, issuing invitations, and beginning to disclose those personal information with close friends and family, things that will undoubtedly leak out, makes perfect sense in late 2024 or early 2025. The blended family factor. Family integration requires patience and consideration. As Jonathan is firmly ingrained in his own huge, close-knit family, Drew, Linda, JD, etc., and Zooey's daughter, Elsie Otter, is approximately 10 years old, it is crucial to make sure everyone feels welcome and at ease. These previous years were probably necessary to strengthen that base. Sharing plans now could indicate that a phase is well established. The comfort zone. Perhaps they've just gotten to a place where it feels natural to share a bit. They seek to create a feeling, not a blow-by-blow analysis. It allows them to be a part of their community without compromising their fundamental privacy. Creating ideal homes and environments for others is a common theme in Jonathan's work at the Property Brothers Effect. Maybe the yearning to finally design their own ideal shared space, represented by the wedding, is brewing. It's his turn after helping so many others. This transition from secrecy to selective sharing is tremendously thrilling, regardless of the cause. They've done the silent work and are now prepared to celebrate on their own terms, so it feels less like a publicity stunt and more like a natural evolution. The verified hints, what we actually know so far: B-roll, visuals emphasizing the following important points: intimate, sustainable, meaningful, and family-centric. Perhaps brief clips of eco-friendly textiles, bunches of wildflowers, or old lace. All right, let's get to the point. What have Zooey and Jonathan really disclosed? Although it's not a complete press release, the main themes are evident from interviews, mainly Jonathan, as he's been a little more active in that area lately, and subliminal social media cues. The biggest takeaway is that intimacy is king and queen. Forget about the 300-guest extravaganza. According to several people close to the couple and Jonathan himself in a recent podcast appearance, we'll talk about that later, this will be a very small, private occasion. Only our closest friends and immediate relatives are involved. Think of no more than 20 to 50 people. This made perfect sense to Jonathan, who prioritizes real connection over show, and Zooey, who is known for being shy despite her stardom. It's about spending time with the people who are most important to them in an environment where they can genuinely be there rather than perform. Sustainability is non-negotiable. This is where Zooey's enduring environmental conscience and Jonathan's design philosophy come together brilliantly. In that same podcast promo interview for Celebrity IOU, Joyride, Jonathan made it clear that they were prioritizing sustainability in their wedding preparations. Whoa. This isn't just a catchphrase for them. Avoiding large resorts or venues that require large carbon footprints for guests, the venue is likely to have a minimal environmental impact, such as a friend's gorgeous, sustainable property, a botanical garden with strong conservation ethics, or even their own newly renovated home, if it's ready. More on that later. Zooey Deschanel plus vintage? It's almost inevitable that she will. Wear a meticulously restored vintage gown, or a modern dress made from deadstock fabrics or organic, ethically sourced materials. Jonathan? Most likely a beautifully tailored suit in a sustainable fabric like organic wool or linen, maybe even something vintage-inspired. No fast fashion wedding dresses here. Decor, Use locally grown greenery and wildflowers. No plastic, no water waste for flown-in blooms. Reusable or compostable tableware, perhaps even vintage china that doesn't match. Very Zooey. Candles rather than electric lighting whenever possible, and decor pieces that can be used again after the event. Plants as favors. Fabric runners that can be turned into quilts. The catering will be hyper-local, seasonal, and organic. The menu will probably be plant-forward or completely vegetarian/vegan, reducing the carbon footprint of meat. Zero food waste initiatives will be implemented, such as composting and donations. Digital save-the-dates and RSVPs will almost certainly be sent out. Any physical invites will be printed on recycled paper with plantable seed paper or soy-based inks. Personalized vows, unquestionably, written by them, reflecting their individual journey and peculiarities. Jonathan stated that he wants the wedding to reflect who we are as a couple. Meaning over magnificence. Every element will have purpose. Thoughtful ceremonies, possibly including aspects that are significant to both groups, such as a nod to Jonathan's more secular background and Zooey's Jewish heritage, though she is not particularly religious, blended together in a seamless way. Music will be very personal, possibly live acoustic folk or indie sets with songs that are theirs. Handmade touches. It's about the love and effort put in, so don't be surprised if Jonathan makes a small ceremony arch or unique signage out of reclaimed wood, or if Zooey makes some of the decor or favors. She's known for her crafts. Family is the heart. Given how important Zooey's daughter Elsie is to her, Elsie will surely play a big part, probably as a flower girl or even a junior bridesmaid. Jonathan's role as best man is obvious due to his close relationship with his twin Drew, and Linda, Mum Scott, and the rest of the Scott clan will be in the spotlight. This wedding is as much about officially combining their families as it is about Jonathan and Zooey coming together. Host holds up a finger. One more crucial piece of intel. The celebrity IOU connection. Jonathan and Zooey are reportedly starring in an upcoming special episode of Celebrity IOU, Joyride, where they renovate a home together. While the exact timing is fuzzy, it's highly plausible this renovation is for their own future marital home star. Imagine the wedding happening in the backyard of the very house they just poured their hearts and design talents into creating. That would be the ultimate full circle, deeply meaningful touch. It ties their professional collaboration, Jonathan's world, with their personal love and Zooey's aesthetic perfectly. The sustainability angle also fits. They'd ensure the renovation used eco-friendly materials, making the venue itself a testament to their values, decoding the aesthetic. What will it look and feel like? B-roll, moody, dreamy visuals, soft focus shots of wildflowers, vintage lace textures, warm candlelight, rustic wooden tables with simple linen, close-ups of sustainable fabrics, shots of beautiful but understated natural landscapes like forests or meadows, maybe a blurred shot of a cozy, well-designed home interior. Okay, we have the themes: intimate, sustainable, meaningful, family-focused. But let's paint the picture. What's the vibe? What's the aesthetic? Based on everything we know about Zooey Deschanel's iconic style and Jonathan Scott's design philosophy, here's our best educated guess. The palette is grounded in nature, but softened by Zooey's signature dreaminess. Imagine the colors of a foggy morning in a redwood forest or sun-drenched linen. Think earthy, whimsy, soft. Natural tones are essential, including creams, ivories, warm beiges, sage greens, terracotta, and perhaps hints of deep forest green or muted rose. The setting: nature-infused intimacy. A secluded garden? A meadow on a friend's sustainable farm? A beautifully landscaped backyard? Maybe their new Joyride home backyard? Somewhere lush, green, and private, where the natural beauty is the main decor. String lights woven through trees, pathways lined with moss or river stones, ceremony space under a simple arch draped with local vines and wild blooms. Indoors? A converted barn with exposed beams, reclaimed wood, of course. Huge windows overlooking nature, filled with plants and warm wood tones. Cozy, not cavernous. Zooey's look: vintage elegance, modern comfort. This is her sweet spot. Picture a 1930s or 1950s inspired gown, maybe with delicate lace, a modest neckline, cap sleeves or short sleeves feel very Zooey, and a flowing silhouette. But crucially, it won't be restrictive. It will look effortless, comfortable, and authentically her. Hair likely in a soft, slightly messy updo or loose, natural waves. Minimal, classic jewelry, perhaps something vintage or with sentimental value. Maybe a simple floral crown or hair vine instead of a traditional veil. Or a vintage lace mantilla. Her makeup will be fresh-faced, dewy, emphasizing her big eyes, very new girl, but elevated. Jonathan's look, classic Canadian charmer, sustainable twist, a well-tailored suit with a timeless cut, think peak lapel, perhaps in a deep charcoal, forest green, or even a warm brown wool. The fabric is important, organic wool, linen blend, or even a high-quality recycled material. A crisp white shirt, organic cotton, please. Maybe a subtle patterned silk or a linen tie that nods to the palette, or perhaps no tie at all for more laid-back vibe. The details, where the magic happens loose, garden-style arrangements overflowing with seasonal, local blooms, think peonies, ranunculus, sweet peas, garden roses, lavender, eucalyptus, maybe some unexpected herbs like rosemary or mint, and hand-tied bouquets wrapped in silk ribbon or twine. No stiff, round bouquets here. Mismatched vintage china thrifted or borrowed from family, very sustainable and personal. Simple linen napkins, undyed or naturally dyed, wooden chargers or none at all. Centerpieces are low and lush, allowing conversation, maybe in vintage bottles or compotes. Reusable glassware, perhaps even mismatched vintage crystal for a touch of unexpected sparkle if physical. Thick recycled cotton paper with a subtle texture, letterpress printing in a classic font, maybe a custom monogram blending their initials. Digital elements seamlessly integrated. Truly useful and sustainable, small potted native plants or wildflower seeds, locally made honey or jam in reusable jars, handmade soaps wrapped in compostable paper. Nothing that ends up in a drawer or a landfill. Acoustic guitar, maybe a string quartet playing indie folk covers or classical with a twist. First dance song? Something meaningful, perhaps a classic like At Last by Etta James, Zooey style, or a more contemporary indie love song. The vibe is warm, relaxed, and conducive to real connection and dancing, not just background noise. Host's voice becomes softer, more evocative. The overall feeling? Warm, present, authentic. It won't be about Instagrammable moments, though it will undoubtedly be stunningly photogenic. It will be about the smell of the earth and the flowers, the sound of loved ones' laughter, the warmth of candlelight on faces, the feeling of the breeze, and the deep, quiet joy of two people who found each other and are choosing, finally, to say, I do, surrounded only by those who matter most, in a way that honors the world they want to live in. It's anti-spectacle, pro-love. The why behind the choices, more than just a trend B-roll, slower cuts. Shots of Jonathan working on a sustainable build, Zooey advocating for animal welfare or environmental causes, images representing blended families, quiet moments of connection between couples. Now, this is crucial. We can list the details, but understanding why Jonathan and Zooey are choosing this path elevates it from just a pretty wedding to something truly significant. This isn't about jumping on the small wedding or sustainable bandwagon because it's trendy, though it is. This is deeply rooted in who they are. Zooey Deschanel's core values. Zooey has been a vocal advocate for environmental causes, animal welfare, and sustainable living for years. She's known for her vintage wardrobe choices, her love of crafting and DIY, and her generally low-key, authentic approach to fame. A massive, wasteful Hollywood wedding would be completely antithetical to her identity. This intimate, sustainable celebration is the authentic Zooey. It's her values made manifest in the most important personal event of her life, so far. Choosing vintage for her dress isn't just aesthetic, it's a statement against fast fashion and a love for history and craftsmanship. An intimate wedding fits with Jonathan Scott's design philosophy because it's manageable, focused, and avoids unnecessary stress and expense. Jonathan Scott is not just a TV host. He is a trained carpenter and a passionate advocate for sustainable building practices. He has spoken extensively about using reclaimed materials, energy efficiency, and building homes that last and respect the environment. Applying this same ethos to his wedding is a natural extension, as it's about creating something beautiful and functional that doesn't come at the expense of the planet. The intimacy guarantees that they can truly experience their wedding day, connecting with each guest, feeling the emotions, rather than just being whisked through a production. It eliminates the pressure of performing for hundreds of people and lets the genuine love and joy shine through. After years of keeping their relationship private, this wedding plan screams, "This is for US." In a world obsessed with the perfect wedding, theirs will be perfect because it's real. Blended family harmony. The Joyride home renovation angle also represents building their shared future together, physically and emotionally, a home for all of them. Having a small guest list makes it much easier to integrate Zooey's daughter Elsie and Jonathan's large family. It also creates a safe, contained space where bonds can be nurtured without the chaos of a large event. A silent declaration in a noisy world. In a time of extreme celebrity, opting for a private and sustainable wedding is a potent, silent protest. Our love and our values matter more than the spectacle. It serves as a reminder that the most meaningful celebrations are frequently the most straightforward ones, founded in genuineness and concern for one another, family, and the environment. The Property Brothers connection and the Joyride home B-roll. Clips from Property Brothers, shots of Jonathan and Drew working together, graphics teasing the celebrity IOU. Joyride, special, concept art of a sustainable, stylish home exterior/interior. Think lots of wood, plants, natural light. Here's where things get extra fascinating. The potential intertwining of Jonathan's professional world with their personal milestone. As I mentioned earlier, reports are swirling that Jonathan and Zooey are collaborating on a special episode of Celebrity IOU, Joyride. Now, Joyride typically features the Scott brothers surprising a deserving friend or family member with the renovation of their dream car. But this rumored episode seems different. It's widely speculated to be about them renovating a home. Why is this so significant for the wedding? The ultimate venue *, imagine it. Their wedding takes place on the grounds of the very home they just renovated together for their life as husband and wife. The ceremony under the tree they planted during the renovation, the reception in the backyard they designed, the first dance in the living room they chose the finishes for. The symbolism is incredibly powerful. It's not just a venue, it's the physical manifestation of their partnership, their shared vision, and their future. It makes the sustainable aspect even more concrete. They built or renovated it with those principles at the core. The Joyride special would capture that journey, the collaboration, the problem-solving, the joy of creating their shared sanctuary, and the wedding would become the celebration in that sanctuary. A shared project, a shared life. Renovating a home together is one of the ultimate tests and builders of a relationship. Navigating design choices, budgets, timelines, it requires communication, compromise, and shared vision. Successfully completing this project before the wedding would be the perfect foundation for their marriage. Jonathan's gift to Zooey, and vice versa on Celebrity IOU. The brothers renovate for someone special. If this is their own house, then Jonathan is using his abilities and position to create the ideal nest for his new family, which is a very romantic gesture. However, given Zooey's strong sense of style, she surely had a huge influence. It's less Jonathan building for Zooey and more Jonathan and Zooey co-creating their future, with the show documenting it. The show focuses on the build, the design, and the giving. It doesn't delve into the messy, private, emotional stuff. Celebrity IOU offers a controlled way to share some of their life and this special project with fans while still preserving the fundamental privacy of their actual relationship and wedding. It's the ideal compromise. Is the wedding happening at this new home? While not officially confirmed, the timing and the nature of their plans make it the strongest possibility. An intimate wedding at a newly renovated, sustainable home they created together? It checks every single box on their priority list. It's the ultimate expression of meaningful and sustainable. What this means for fans and the cultural moment B-roll. Split screen showing typical lavish celebrity weddings versus intimate, nature-focused weddings. Shots of diverse couples, sustainable fashion, community gatherings. Jonathan and Zooey's wedding plans aren't just exciting gossip for fans of HGTV or New Girl. They reflect and potentially influence a much larger cultural shift. Think about it. The rise of the intimate wedding. Post-pandemic, there's been a massive swing towards smaller, more meaningful weddings. Couples are prioritizing experience and connection over guest count and grandeur. Jonathan and Zooey, with their massive platform, are putting a huge spotlight on this beautiful trend. They're showing that a small wedding isn't less than. It's often more intimate, more personal, more memorable, and yes, often more affordable and less stressful. Sustainability as standard, not optional ***. Their explicit commitment to sustainability pushes it further into the mainstream wedding conversation. It's not just about bamboo plates anymore. It's about the entire ethos, from the dress to the venue to the food. They're demonstrating that a beautiful, luxurious-feeling wedding can absolutely be kind to the planet. This could inspire countless other couples to make more conscious choices. Authenticity over perfection ***. In an age of curated social media perfection, their choice for privacy and authenticity is refreshing. They're reminding us that the most important moments are often the quietest ones, shared with the people who truly know and love you. It's a rejection of the pressure to have a Pinterest-perfect wedding that looks amazing in photos, but feels hollow in person. Blended families in the spotlight ***. By centering Zooey's daughter Elsie, they normalize and celebrate blended families. It shows that love isn't just about the couple. It's about weaving together existing bonds to create a new, loving unit. This is incredibly important representation. Power couples, different values ***. They prove that a power couple doesn't have to mean red carpets and mega mansions. Their power comes from their individual talents, their shared values, and their commitment to living authentically. It's a different kind of celebrity romance, one rooted in substance. For fans, it's deeply satisfying. We've watched Jonathan help families for years. Seeing him find his own happiness and build his family is heartwarming. We've loved Zooey's quirky, authentic characters. Seeing her live that authenticity in her real life is inspiring. Their wedding feels like a victory lap for genuine connection in a world that often feels superficial. Conclusion. Music swells gently, the same whimsical indie folk track from the intro, but fuller. Back in the cozy living room, smiling warmly at the camera ***. So, there you have it. While we might not get front row seats or a live stream, and honestly, would we even want that for them? Piecing together the clues Jonathan and Zooey have given us paints a picture of a wedding that's nothing short of magical, not because of its scale, but because of its soul. An intimate gathering under open skies or in a thoughtfully crafted home, filled with the people they love most, celebrating their union in a way that honors the earth and their unique love story. Vintage lace meets sustainable wood, indie folk meets heartfelt vows, quiet moments meet deep joy. It's a reminder that the most beautiful celebrations are those that are true to who you are. Jonathan Scott, the master builder, and Zooey Deschanel, the vintage dreamer, are building something far more important than a house or a TV moment. They're building a life together, brick by reclaimed brick, stitch by vintage stitch, choice by conscious choice. And their wedding? It's the beautiful, sustainable, deeply personal cornerstone of that life. What do you think? Are you loving the intimate, sustainable vibe they're going for? Do you have your dream vintage wedding dress picked out already? Or maybe your team, Joyride House Wedding? Let me know all your thoughts, predictions, and feelings in the comments below. I absolutely love reading them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jonathan and Zooey's wedding plans, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates if they reveal even more details. Fingers crossed. Maybe I'll even do a follow-up after the big day. Host gives a warm, genuine smile. ***. Until next time, remember, the best love stories aren't always the loudest, but they're always the truest. Stay cozy, stay kind, and maybe go thrift a little something vintage today. Bye for now.